Couple of things I want to talk about. One, this has got to be the most absurd, maybe not but close to one of the most absurd. It's definitely up there. Things that you would never, ever, ever think would happen in America, land of the free, home of the brave, which is a person issued a parking ticket in his own private property house, parking lot or driveway. Not parking lot, driveway. But before I get into that, I got to talk about Bitcoin for a minute and the Webbot. Someone has tweeted, obviously on Twitter, to me and Cliff, a couple other people. They simply put a chart. This was from, I guess today, it's around 1 o'clock it looks like maybe. Bitcoin, 888.88. So that would be 5 8s, 888.88. Didn't end the day, but it hit that and stayed there for just a little bit. And this person caught it, took a screenshot, sent it to me. So, what was the Webbot saying? This was said months ago. You're going to see Bitcoin get past $500 and then $600, and it gave a specific number, 600 something. It did. It said the number 888 is important, and there were all kinds of variations. 888, 888, 88. There was a Chinese currency version, 808080 or something like that. All these weird numbers, but they were literally 8s, triple 8s, 4 8s, 5 8s. It was just really weird. And it said that that's what keeps sticking out for Bitcoin. He said, but it's going to go to around $1,000. And once it hits that $1,000 mark, it will come back down and should play with that 888 a bit. So I've already mentioned this a couple times, so now I'm doing it again. And as of, which will be last night, I was talking through Skype to Future Money Trends, or Crush the Street. They do both. And kind of an interview thing where we're just chatting about what are my thoughts on Bitcoin and is 2017 the year where things start to fall apart? What's my opinion? Things like that. And some Webbot stuff. We got into this. We're talking a little bit about it on there as well. But it made me think, just like seeing this, it made me think the same thing. And I mentioned it on his show. 888.88. Why couldn't it be 888.87? 888.89. 888.88. And the Webbot is saying, look at these weird synchronicities between 88888, just 8s across the board. Bitcoin. So we're going to go to $1,000 first. It's going to come back down. It's going to play with this 888 thing. And then it's going to go back above $1,000 ultimately. So we saw it hit 1,000. It came back down. I had people email me, hey, it's 888 right now. Went back up. Went up to 1,000 again. Now, first of all, when it hit the 1,000 the first time, that was when, the Chinese government said they may crack down or nonsense. Dropped down 200 points or dollars, same thing. Was down to like 800, a little over 800. Then it bounced back up, 888, up again. Hit 1,000 again, up. Some more nonsense news, boop, back down again, $800 like today. But then it's 888 again. So this is, and I said it on his show today when I was doing the interview. I said, of all the things the Webbot has talked about over the years, and it's talked about a million different things, many of which it's always in there, silver, precious metals, the death of the dollar, all that stuff, the secrets revealed stuff with the pedophile stuff. A lot of things have always been in there. But Bitcoin wasn't always in there. Bitcoin was kind of a new thing as we got into 2015 as far as Webbot was concerned. It may have mentioned a couple times here or there, but it really started talking about 2015. And sat there and called pretty much all of the price action, all of the movement in Bitcoin spectacularly. And here we are again, spectacularly throwing out these numbers. Because why couldn't it be 777? Why couldn't that number be important? Why aren't we toying around with 777? You know, the 777, lucky sevens. $9.99. That, you know, where it bounces back and forth. How many times has this thing hit 888? And now today, 888.88? Come on. So, what else, as far as I'm concerned, what else is the important thing about this $1,000 Bitcoin? According to the webbot, silver and gold should be let loose. I don't know to what extent, but are supposed to be let loose to go much higher. Like, whoa, that's not what, have you seen what silver did today? And oh my gosh, the next day, holy crap. Not sure how soon after the $1,000, though, it never said. But that was a precursor thing that we would be looking for. We have hit $1,000 twice now. We've hit 888 multiple times now in the last few days. Is it possible that when Trump takes over, the cartel has to back down? Maybe he knows all about it and wants them to. Who knows? But nonetheless, I had to report this because this is pretty incredible. Now, on to this other story. And I got this email from the Sovereign Man. You know, I mentioned some of the stuff he says he sends out. But this is, you know, I already heard about it this past morning anyways. And I was talking to my buddy Frank at work a little bit about it. Like, can you believe that? Like, this is not real. Okay, actually it is. But anyways, the story is land of the free. Michigan man issued parking ticket in his own driveway. The state of Michigan is not exactly known for its balmy weather this time of year, and residents reasonably do what they can to cope with often extreme winter temperatures. Last Thursday, a man named Taylor of Roseville, Michigan, did what a lot of people do in cold climates. He walked out of his house, started his car, turned on the heat, and went back inside for a few minutes while his engine and vehicle interior warmed up. According to Taylor, he was only inside for about 7 to 8 minutes. But by the time he came back to his car, there was already a parking ticket on his windshield with a fine totaling $128. Some local police officer had apparently driven by, noticed the vehicle was unattended, written up this heinous infraction, and left. There are so many things wrong with this picture, it's hard to know where to even begin. First off, the citation that he received was a parking ticket. Yet his car was parked on his own private property. Let that sink in. This man received a parking ticket while his car was parked on his own property. Not in the street, in his driveway. You can't even park your car on your own property anymore without being in violation of some series of laws, rules, or local ordinances. The city government's reasoning is that if you leave a vehicle unattended, it may encourage car thieves to steal it. This is pretty flimsy logic. Sure, maybe if a car thief is standing right there, he or she may take the opportunity. But it's not like some low-life felon is going to turn the other cheek and stop stealing cars just because there's no unattended vehicles with the keys in the ignition ready to go. Criminals bent on theft are going to steal no matter what, just like some murderous thug in Chicago is going to find a gun and kill people regardless of local firearm regulations. When the story broke on local news, Roseville's police chief told reporters that his department is unapologetic about issuing that citation. Sounding like a man who cares more about statistics than actually catching criminals, the chief claimed that 5 to 10 unattended vehicles are stolen every winter, which drives up the crime rates, he said. I looked at Roseville's crime rates. They're high. This is not a safe place. With a population of less than 50,000, there are nearly 2,000 property crime incidents per year. That includes at least a few hundred car thefts, which means that 5 to 10 vehicles is statistically trivial. Clearly, this issue of unattended vehicles is not the root of the problem. And even if all the citizens of Roseville never again left their vehicles unattended, even on a cold winter day for just a few minutes to let the car warm up, it still wouldn't make a dent in the larger crime rate. But that doesn't matter. Roseville's city government deals with its crime problem by establishing obscure regulations to restrict what law-abiding people are allowed to do in their own homes with their private property. It doesn't matter whether you are aware that these ridiculous rules even exist. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. You're probably in violation of a half dozen rules and regulations right now without even knowing about them. Naturally, they're all for your own good, to protect you against all the terrible choices that you might make as a grown-up adult. Thank goodness these people are here to save us from ourselves. Of course, there's always more work to do. Speaking of statistically trivial risks, I read recently that falling vending machines kill a handful of people each year. Let's get rid of them. No more vending machines. Roller coaster malfunctions claim 4 lives each year. Maybe they should ban those too. Sugary drinks are clearly bad for you. Perhaps they should outlaw those, at least above a certain size. Oh wait, they're already trying to do that. This is what freedom means today in the United Nanny States of America. Do you have a plan B? If you live, work, bank, invest, own a business, and hold your assets all in just one country, you are putting all your eggs in one basket. You're making a high-stakes bet that everything is going to be okay in that one country forever. All it would take is for the economy to tank, a natural disaster to hit, or the political system to go into turmoil, and you could lose everything. Your money, your assets, and possibly even your freedom. Luckily, there are a number of simple, logical steps you can take to protect yourself from these obvious risks. And I'm going to give him his little plug, since it's sovereignman.com. No-brainer strategies to ensure you thrive no matter what happens next. Invest outside the mainstream and make 12% with minimal risk. Protect your assets and become invincible to financial crisis and frivolous lawsuits. Legally slash your tax bill up to $1.2 million per year. Obtain a valuable second passport for free. Learn about these and many more strategies in our free Perfect Plan B guide. Download the Plan B guide here. I will link this article for you guys in case you're interested in this. I'm mostly interested in this story. This is total Onion material. This is from The Onion. Has to be. Nope. This is from Michigan. You came on my private property to issue me a ticket in my driveway because I left my vehicle unattended? Where does it end, folks? I'll tell you, it doesn't. They keep pecking away. They keep pecking away. And they keep pecking away. And you think, well, that's another one of these stupid things. Oh, they did that again. And they'll keep going. They'll take this little thing out of the law that they don't like. They'll add this little thing to the law in a new bill, pass it. Maybe in the middle of the night when no one's paying attention, the media won't report it. Maybe it's during a skeleton crew in Congress. And before you know it, massive changes have taken place legally by all these little nitpicks that they've done. Take this little thing out, take this little thing out, add these little things. And then when you add them up collectively, you've completely changed the system your country was founded on. That is where we find ourselves today, my friends. USA used to be great, not anymore. This kind of crap is not, under any circumstances, what you would expect ever to happen in this country, in any city or state or county in this country. You wouldn't even expect this in one of our so-called territories, Puerto Rico or something. They don't even issue tickets in there over there. Well, that's because it doesn't get cold enough, J-Snip. Or, I don't know, we've had some pretty cold winters. Yeah, I've been guilty a couple times myself of turning my car on and coming in. Not recently, but I have done that before. It's freezing out there. Well, let me just let it warm up a little bit. You imagine if I went out there and there's a ticket on my windshield? What the hell is this, some kind of joke? Who is this? One of my old friends from the sheriff's office? What is this, some joke? Oh, no, this is a real ticket. For what? County or city ordinance. I could have swore states create the laws, not county ordinances. Because in Florida, they had county ordinances all over the place. No guns, no firearms, no weapons, no this at the parks. There's a sign in every park. And the state ruled you cannot restrict that. The Second Amendment specifically. You must take that down in any county or city that it doesn't comply, you will be fined every month or every something until you do take it down, because that's not constitutional. I don't know how that came out or where it came from, but I was glad to see it, because that is not fair. Again, a gun-free zone equals all the criminals come here and have fun. Again, like he said, look at Chicago. Can't own a gun over there. Why not? Oh, it's illegal. Massive gun control over in Chicago. Doesn't seem to stop the criminals. They're killing more people there, I think, than in any other state, city or state. So I hope Trump comes in and just cleans house. Can I just say that? I hope he comes in and freaking cleans house, especially on crap like this. Take care.